Yesterday you were at Legon
Yeah.
for the Wear UG Day.
Yes, I was.
It was nice.
How was it like?
It was beautiful. Fremel moderated a panel discussion that had Ochame Kwame. It had Wear Ghana there and Abrantier and some other people in the fashion industry
What are they talking about?
Sustainability in the world of fashion and how fashion can be used as an enterprise to create jobs. So universities like the University of Ghana should start considering mainstreaming programs that can, put the creativity and skills of people in the fashion industry to play to create jobs. Ochame Kwame made some very profound revelations about sustainability, how a lot of the clothes we wear when we throw them away end up under the sea, and how people are becoming more creative about reuse, recycling, upscaling, and how there's a lot of funding for sustainability in that sense. It was encouraging a lot of the young people to
Did
look
Wear
into
Ghana
that.
share her experience, her journey in being a fashion person? I think she's done this like 10 years now.
She did. This is their 11th year. She spoke about how she got into the fashion industry. I think she studied a Greek economy at KNUST and then told us how she eventually veered into the clothing industry. So that helped the audience who are doing other courses. There was even a lecturer there who said one of her daughters wanted to go into fashion school, but she has been to the university. Her first daughter has been to the... She didn't understand why
she
her
should
daughter... So
go into fashion.
that conversation helped. And the woman was even telling us what she was wearing was made by her daughter.
Wow.
So people are embracing the fact that education is not just about going to the university, but if you have skills, you can get higher education and perfect that. And that's why I want to say also congratulations to one of my wards at DTI, Collins Amankwa Boatin. Today he will be graduating with a certificate in precision welding and fabrication.
What is DTI?
Design and Technology Institute, run by Esther Constance Swanica.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So you were in the UG
My
material.
fabric, it was
Everybody was
beautiful.
wearing.
It was lovely. The
Is
room
it-
was
is it-
packed.
Do they do it for only once a year? Why don't they do more Wear UG once a week?
In fact, I
So
think...
that the material,
Yeah.
because the material is nice.
and there are
Why
three
should it be
prints
once a
too,
year?
very beautiful.
Yeah, I saw a couple of really cool designs. There was one guy, I don't know who it was. He had like chains.
Yes,
Who was that?
I don't know. I met him there actually. Yeah, I think
I
he's the
like it.
staff of the university.
Hey, his own was different.
And he's on it on a suit, and
Yeah.
it looks like a butterfly. It's
Wow.
lovely.
The print that VC had on, I hadn't seen
The
that one
black
before.
and
The
white.
black and white
It's
one.
also very nice.
Yeah. Unless you don't have that one.
I just want to say that one of the things we should think of developing in Ghana and reviving is the textile industry.
True.
The Sahel region is very good for cotton, so too is northern Ghana. The potential is there. So because a lot of the textile manufacturing companies have collapsed. But if you are looking for an industry that ticks all the boxes, whether it's the cotton into the ginnery, into the materials, the fabrics, or then the design, that value chain offers a lot of promise
True.
for value addition, industrialization. And I really hope that the private sector, the financial sector, and the authorities in government are thinking about a path to revive the textile industry. Now they are not competitive. The Chinese and other foreigners have taken our designs and they've found a cheaper way to produce it. But if you want an industry that ticks all the boxes, it's inclusive, there are women involved at the lower level, it's labor intensive, but it's also high value adding, and it's foreign exchange earning potential is strong. All right, I think that all the industries that the raw materials are here, and it's not as destructive like say mining. All right, so I just want to urge the various forces. The problem with the continent, just like we discussed media, is the capital. Somehow capital chooses where to go, and we are not getting investment in meaningful transformative industries like the textile industry. So I'm just putting that out there. Congrats to University of Ghana Legon for the Sky.
Yeah, so I want to add something. You know, recently I was at a lecture somewhere outside of the country, and there was a discussion about the clothing industry. And one of the things the lecturer spoke about was the fact that we have become sort of a top-grade consumer of second-hand clothes, and pointed us to a recent publication by the VOA, which says Ghana markets overwhelmed by imported second-hand clothing. And somewhere in the story, we're told that our traders import a staggering 15 million garments a week, according to the OR Foundation Environmental Group. Now, but roughly 40% of each bale ends up as waste.
Look at that.
They say.
So basically, the West is dumping their old clothes on us.
Exactly. Dammed in landfills and often washed into the ocean, causing a public health crisis and harming the environment. And then there was also a review of how fisher folk along the sea, and of course in some cases far inland, are complaining about how this is killing aquatic life and all
affecting their harvest.
Exactly. So the point that you raise about the need for us to invest locally to improve capacity, it's an important point. But then also very important is how we recycle what
comes in.
Exactly. And whether we ensure that it is sustainable. It is important because we are seeking to create jobs. While we do that with tailors, seamstresses, people like Juma and co, we should also think of how those impact people along the coast. Because it is of no use creating jobs inland when you cannot ensure that people who have been here so many years long before we started even producing clothes are losing their jobs because of what we're doing. So it's important that we keep our eyes on that. That having been said, Bernard, yesterday I visited Latex Foam Ghana.
All right.
I didn't know that they had moved into the space of furniture. And relying on fabric, sometimes they source locally, and items they source locally to produce some of the most wonderful furniture you find in any market. Yeah, that's right. So I was asking them. So these things, they are comparable to what you have
everywhere,
elsewhere.
Yeah.
But the answer to me was that, look, we are training the people here, we are training the youth here, and they are producing these things that you are
know
seeing.
they are much more affordable.
Exactly.
So latex and ash foam, mattress, furniture, high quality, comparable to the ones you import from Turkey, from Italy and all those places. Yes, very, very high quality. Just that they are just two. They are the two I know on the industrial area.
Yeah, and you see, so when you hear government talk about we want to invest in training the youth, equipping them, and all of
Are
those
they even
things,
using these companies?
That is the question. You see, these institutions, these companies have to be targeted and in some way supported with government, purchases.
Yeah.
So, for instance, you want to fill an office. These guys are here employing local people, local materials in many respects. So why not big offices? So for instance, yesterday, the Bank of Ghana building that was opened, we are told that 2,500 workers will occupy.
Imagine the chairs.
Imagine
I'm sure they're importing all the chairs.
See,
importing all the tables.
Exactly.
Importing all the fixtures
Just
and
as
fittings.
Parliament did some time ago.
You have
it is such
a
a
fine
tragedy.
Ghanaian company, Gold Key Properties, producing that edifice we are talking about.
To be fair, we don't know whether the materials are imported, but I doubt if they made it in Ghana.
It's the point we are making it. If they have forgotten that bit, there are local companies that are doing these things. So while we are emphasizing the construction industry, we need local people. The motorway, we are told local company will be doing it. This Bank of Ghana building, a local company did it. Let us also invest in these other, ash foam, latex foam.
Imagine if you had even said to the two leading foam companies that for the soft furnitures that we will use in this BOG building, it's a $250 million building.
Yes.
So
$250 million.
Yeah. So even if you said that, it's a big building, you go to the lobby, you sit in soft furniture. Fine, the hard furniture like this, we may not be as good as the Chinese yet. But you could actually use that to say we are the BOG, $250 million. It's our own money. We are not tied to anybody. We are using this to revamp some 2 or 3 large furniture manufacturing companies to give them the contract.
Exactly.
To buy the equipment to produce at scale. I think that's the way. But typically, people, we don't even hear of the procurement. We don't know the links. The reason I can say it is that if a government wants to promote local, and they use local, they will tell us. Because I know that for the contractors, the government talks about the contractors. So every time you go for an event, the minister will say, I'm happy to say that right now in Ghana, almost all our major roads are done. Then you mentioned Maripoma, Just Move, Oswell, Fair Sky. What's the name of the others? You know, there's a track record of local contractors who have been supported to be strong, not just in size but also in quality.
Exactly.
Now, if you're building a $250 million building, obviously you need furniture.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. $250 million. Multiply that by 16.
Charlie, it's a lot of
Imagine if you said to Ashform, Charlie, the furniture that the governor's office will have and all the senior level managers go and do it. Do you know what that means for the company? And you can even tell that when we give you this business, go to Tech DTI and have a training program for 150 people. You see, you are using one. As my friend used to say, Baku for you know. You get it? So I really want to urge, if the BOG has anything to say about this, they should let me know. Because when Parliament did furniture and they went to China, we're not happy.
You were angry.
All right, and we are happy they use gold keys, even though we don't think the projects have been prioritized at this time. It is what it is. They've done it. Okay. Now, our policy makers need to show examples of the kind of Ghana they want to create.
Exactly.
It's also a question of Ghanaian excellence. All right, our excellence should not just be excellence is not using hard-earned foreign money to buy the most expensive foreign things and say, as for me, I stand for quality. That is not quality. Quality is saying that we are building a new parliament chamber. We are going to find the best Ghanaian people and anchor them
Exactly.
to produce it so we can celebrate Ghanaian quality. But they say, oh, as for quality, we have to go to the Chinese. It's the cheapest, it's the best.
Really
And
not.
a country that does that is not committed to its citizens.
Yeah.
All right. So to add to what you're saying, congrats to the Ash Films and the latest films of this world and the companies that actually produce something.
Yep.
There are companies in Ghana who are producing chocolate drinks,
Yep.
who are producing beverages. For example, the beverage industry 30, 40 years ago was dominated by just Western companies. Now you have Ghanaian competitors, Piva.
Locally.
They are in Ghana. All right. They manufacture. Okay. And we can say the same for so many. Textile manufacturing.
Yeah.
Shoes. People like Horseman Shoes and Wear Ghana are not yet at scale. The scale you need. So, for example, you say you are doing free sandals for students. Now, think about it. 18,000 cedis was spent on each free HHS student. Let's assume the government wants to give free Achimota sandals to, or subsidize Achimota sandals to almost 4 million students or whatever number. Imagine what that can mean for the Ghana Kumasi shoe factory.
Value chain.
You get it? It shocks me how we are not able to use government programs to support Ghanaian businesses to be strong and to employ more people. Because, you know, I was interviewing Guzitano and was telling me that now the labor absorptive rate of our economic growth is 0.36%, which means that for every 1% increase in GDP, there's less than one person employed. So the GDP is not coming from...
It's not benefiting us.
It's not labor intensive. So growing because you produce oil using a big machine is not real growth if you can't employ people. Right? And again, I stand to be corrected because I don't know who procured the furniture. And I may be making a mistake. But if the BOG can tell us that, Charlie, for this building, apart from gold keys, these are the value chains. These are the value chains that we deliberately developed. They should come and tell us because they are the ones complaining about the currency exchange. All right. So you can't spend $250 million on a building, of which a lot of it will go to foreigners, and then come back and tell us that the currency is depreciating.
Not at all.
You get me? And for a building, bro, there are so many aspects of a building. Interplast. So let me give you an example. The glass windows. There are so many fixtures and fittings that Interplast, Duraplast, and all these guys can do for you. These are all in Ghana. These companies have been in Ghana for 30 years. They are, whether they are Indians or Lebanese, it doesn't really matter. They are Ghanaians. Okay.
A good number of them are.
So
tiling to
take a bit tiles, glass window,
furnishings,
plastic pipes, doors.
Latex,
Charlie, the paint,
lightings, electrical cables.
Charlie, you know, I think what the president ought to have done was to have said to the BOG to let us know which value chains this $250 million is developing and what is your plan because this money has to
Stay here.
and support the growth. So you get poor because you are building a $50 million building. Chinese people are getting jobs. India, China. You get it. And you turn around and say you are going to lower interest rate because you want to bring the currency down. You are joking. If you cannot use your purchasing procurement power to support your industry, all your monetary policy will not make any sense, because we've already been told that a lot of your inflation is imported inflation because of exchange rate depreciation. The more you import, the less your currency becomes strong. So if you are going to spend $50 million on a building project, what you're doing is basically you're going to import inflation. Because these parts you are bringing in is going to be very expensive. Medicine, food, buildings. I don't even think we should think twice. Free SHS, everybody must eat local rice. Don't spend it on Thai or Vietnamese rice. They must eat local maize. Okay? Medicines for hospitals. Give 2 or 3 of pharmaceutical companies the sense and say, look, do generics, local versions of these generic medicines, and we'll spread it. Same for buildings. So, fertilizer. Okay, you say you are doing, what do they call them?
Planting for food and jobs.
Sky.
Phase 2.
You should list the Ghanaian fertilizer bagging companies that have benefited. You are doing construction projects, roads, drip. Where are the cement manufacturers who have benefited? You get the point. This is how you do it. It never gets in the news, and we just report the final end product. Value chain analysis is key to economic growth. And I think that we need to start asking some hard questions of our political duty bearers. That beyond announcing the cost of the building, show working.
The value chain.
Show us which value chain you've developed and how you intend to sustain it. You can't just complain about unemployment and be giving jobs to foreign countries and then keep complaining about unemployment and changing your interest rate. Your interest rate is affected by what you buy. Government is the biggest procurer of food, fertilizer, of fixtures and fittings in the country. How are they using that to develop all our industries? All right? You say you are doing free pad. You remember?
Yeah.
Companies in Ghana that produce those things, do you buy it from them?
That's the question.
We can't live like this. People are coming out of school, they are not getting work to do. And we are saying we all want quality, so we'll go to the best and buy. No, let us work with the Ghana best. I always give this example. When you are hosting a conference in Ghana, you don't import MCs from abroad. You use Ghanaian MCs. Because it will not be as good as American MCs or whatever, but we will use us. When the IMF MD came, why didn't they go and bring an American host to interview? Why did they use us? You get it? So when it suits you, you know that there's quality in Ghana you can use. You will find it. When you bring even Bill Gates to Ghana, we'll find people to interview him. You won't go and bring Larry King to interview him.
Not.
Because if he's coming to do something in Ghana, we have to talk to him. Why can't you translate that into all the other things you are doing? Our taste for foreign goods, especially as Ghanaian elite, go to the office. Oh, I imported this from Switzerland. I imported this from Turkey. I imported this from this.
This one from London.
As if that makes you better. Instead of saying that, Charlie, there's a guy in Kumasi, Idefon. This guy, given the right support, he can produce a world class. We will not do that because we want to show that we are yenye. If you are creating job for another person, you are destroying your own job. When him there,
That's right. That's true.
when him there, no, you are not. You tell me something about a tree, pushing a tree, something. Say it again. You say if I don't push a tree, I will be poor. You said some proverb last time.
There's a man of men or your kuchi, you know, go.
Say it again.
Man of video, man on your kuchi, you know, go.
Which in English means what?
Which in English means that if your friend is sitting on top or your brother is sitting on top of the mango tree, you can't be eating the ripe ones.
So BOG, I want you
to be plucking the ripe
so
ones.
BOG, what we want to know is how many value chains did the $250 million go into? From consultants to contractors to suppliers.
That's right.
Show working. Lead by example.
That's interesting. You know, normally at the is it what you said it was an inauguration?
Inauguration.
Yeah, he said we shouldn't say commission.
Yes, it was an inauguration of buildings like that. Normally in the speeches that I read, they would normally give you an indication of the impact
it's had on
the local economy, and stuff like that.
So
So,
find
it
the
would have
species.
been
No, you
interesting.
can
No,
find
there
it.
was. I listened to everything yesterday. There was mention of Gold Key, and the Gold Key chief executive came to deliver.
So
Yes.
he's a
Yeah,
Ghanaian.
that's
Yes.
right. That
I
one,
understand
yeah.
that.
But the fine components.
that's what I'm talking about,
So
is
it's
that
important.
there would have been-
Oh yeah. So 2,500 workers will be occupying these buildings, and that furnishing supplied by latest phone or ash foam or something like that. That was not a part of the
Bernard,
thing.
my very humblest question though is why the BOG building is costed in dollars? Why are we talking about that?
The value,
Is
I
it
don't know.
dollars?
I
Because
don't
I thought there was a thing about
Yeah.
dollarization.
No, when they
and all
mention it,
that.
it will be too much. 250 million times 17. You know what that means?
Okay.
Calculate it on your phone.
in the
It will become error.
in the meantime, though,
I need a calculator. No, I want to check that. $250 million times 17. Or let's do 16. $250 million times 16.
Yeah.
15.
I don't understand
You know,
what's here. I don't understand what's here.
4.2 billion.
4.25 EG.
To the power
something.
12.
E Nigeria to the power
Your
12.
calculator is not powerful enough. Use a graphics calculator. Charlie, when I was in SSA, we used to use a graphics calculator for drawing charts.
yeah.
Is 3.75 billion.
Cities.
Yes.
3.75 billion
See,
cedis.
right now I'm concerned. I wasn't concerned before. Now I'm concerned.
3.75 billion
As it's in
cedis.
cities, we are concerned.
I'm concerned.
How much of that stayed here?
Yeah,
How much of that went away?
out.
3.75 billion cedis.
That's a lot of money.
If you load it in this room,
yeah. Hey, you can't feel. You will feel here. It's like we occupy all the spaces.
3.75
Yeah,
billion
that's a
cedis.
lot of money. That's
That's like half of the poor in the world.
That's a lot of money.